Ladies and gentlemen, the broken, the bruised, the ones left in the wake of someone else's selfish storm. You were left to face the thunder. You were pushed into the storm, thrown to the raging winds and swirling chaos, while they stood back, feeling safe in the shadows, watching to see if you'd fall, if you'd break. They thought they could shatter you, bend you into something smaller, something weaker. But let me tell you, storms like that, they don't last forever. And oh, how little they knew of what they had stirred up, the storm they thought they'd controlled. Because here's the kicker, the delicious irony, my friends. The storm they created is coming for them now. It's coming back, and it's going to leave nothing untouched. They sat back watching as you stumbled, as you found your way through that darkness. They underestimated you, thought they'd see you crumble under the weight of their games. But you rose, and while you fought through it, while you found strength you didn't know you had, they forgot that life has a way of circling back. They forgot that storms don't just disappear. They turn, they grow, they build momentum, and now their end is coming, built by their own hands, fueled by the chaos they unleashed. Oh, and how it's going to feel when that storm finally hits them. It won't be gentle. It won't be kind. This isn't a rain shower, it's a reckoning. They'll feel the weight of every word, every little manipulation, every self-serving decision they ever made. Because when people throw stones, when they stir the waters, they think they're immune to the ripples. But they're not. Nobody is. They wanted to see you falter. They threw you to the wolves, tossed you into the dark, and watched from afar, waiting for you to break. But here's what they didn't realize. Storms don't just dissolve into thin air. They spin back around, they grow, they expand, and soon they come home to roost. And the storm they created, oh, it's coming back for them now, gathering its fury and rushing in their direction with a vengeance. You see, they thought they could take you down, and that it would somehow lift them up. They underestimated your resilience, misjudged the strength that lives in silence and survival. They didn't know that every hit, every manipulation, every selfish game only made you stronger, sharper, wiser. You survived, and you grew, and now that storm is heading straight for them, and it's got their name written all over it. They reveled in your struggle, delighted in every stumble, waiting for you to crumble under the weight of their games. They thought they could shape you into something smaller, something weaker, something easier to control. But the irony of it all, in their twisted game, they were the ones digging their own pit. Because the storm they unleashed wasn't just your test, it's becoming their reckoning, and when it hits, it won't be gentle. This isn't just a rain shower, this isn't some passing drizzle. It's a reckoning that's going to uproot every last bit of illusion they built around themselves. They'll scramble for stability, reaching for something to hold on to, only to find the truth staring them down, unshaken, untwisted, unwavering. That truth, the one they tried to bury, is now going to haunt them. They wanted to create chaos for you, a world of confusion, a mess so entangled that you couldn't find your way out. But now, that chaos is consuming them. They'll feel the weight of every single choice they made, every lie they told, every selfish move they played. Every time they looked at you and thought they could manipulate, control, dominate, they'll feel all of it, full force. It'll echo back to them like a scream in a silent room, deafening, unrelenting. In their darkest moments, when they're alone with the consequences of what they've sown, they'll see it all too clearly. They'll understand the weight of their actions, not because you wanted revenge, but because life has a way of circling back around. Karma has its own way of settling scores. And while you walked through that storm and came out the other side, stronger and clearer, they'll be left to face the same storm, stripped bare. The beauty in all of this is that you don't need to lift a finger, you don't need to retaliate, to get even, or even to wish them ill, because the storm is already on its way, gaining momentum, carrying with it every selfish deed, every twisted game, every manipulative word. And that storm is only getting closer. So let them live in their delusions a little longer. Let them believe just for a moment that they've won, that they somehow emerged victorious from their games, because sooner or later reality will hit. They'll realize that the person they tried to break didn't crumble. They'll see that you didn't need their approval, didn't need their validation, didn't need them at all. And you've walked through the fire, you've faced down the worst of it, and you've come out the other side, stronger, wiser, and ready to live without the weight of their games hanging over you. You're free while they're caught in the very trap they set for you. It's poetic justice, isn't it? That the very chaos they created is going to be their undoing. The storm they thought would destroy you is now coming to consume them. And when they're left alone, facing the aftermath of their own actions, maybe, just maybe, they'll understand the strength it took for you to walk away. So here's to you, the survivor, the fighter, the one who walked through the storm and emerged whole. And here's to the beautiful irony that the storm they created is coming home to them now. It's a reckoning, and it's long overdue. They'll sit there staring at the mess they made, trying to piece together a version of the story that casts them as the hero. But when they're alone, really alone, with no one else to blame, the truth will settle in. They'll see their own fingerprints all over the wreckage and realize just how deeply they dug their own grave. They'll try to hide from it, to escape into another twisted fantasy, but it'll be there in every reflection, every silence, every memory. They thought you would fall apart. They believed you would be crushed under the weight of their deceit. They had this image in their head of you, broken and defeated, needing them. But reality, it's so much more satisfying, isn't it? Here you are, standing tall, untouched by their drama. You didn't just survive, you thrived. And now, as they're trapped in the very web they spun, you get to watch from a distance, knowing that they'll never find peace in the chaos they created. See, they wanted you to be weak so they could feel strong. They wanted you to depend on them, to need them in some twisted way that fed their ego. They thrived on your struggle because it made them feel powerful. But when you refused to play their game, when you chose to rise instead of fall, you took away the one thing they relied on most, control. And now they're spiraling, scrambling for something to anchor them, but finding only emptiness. They'll start to resent you even more now, not because of anything you did, but because of the silence, because of the peace you found, because you left them without their favorite puppet. And now they're left playing their games alone. You became the reminder of everything they couldn't hold on to, everything that slipped through their fingers despite all their efforts. And that resentment, it'll only grow, festering, gnawing at them from the inside out. And as time goes on, they'll watch you continue to rise. They'll see you moving forward, unfazed, while they're drowning in their own turmoil. Every achievement of yours, every smile, every bit of joy you find, it'll haunt them because deep down they know they could have been part of that journey. But instead, they chose to try and break you, and in doing so, they broke the best part of themselves. But let's be clear, they don't deserve your pity, they don't deserve your forgiveness or your sympathy. They created this, and now they get to live in it. Every tear they shed, every restless night, every moment of regret, they earned it. This isn't about wishing them ill. It's about watching the scales finally balance, about letting karma do what it does best. They set this fire, and now they get to watch it burn from the front row. What's more beautiful than that? The knowledge that you've won by simply walking away, that your silence, your peace, is the ultimate victory. They underestimated you, thought they could shape you into something lesser, and now they're left empty-handed, with nothing but memories of what could have been. They'll try to fill that void with distractions, with replacements, but none of it will hold a candle to what they lost. They'll try to justify it all, to convince themselves they made the right choice. They'll tell themselves lies to soften the blow, to numb the regret that gnaws at them. But it won't work. Not really. Because every time they look at the life they built from deception and manipulation, they'll know it was all built on sand, that the foundation they thought was strong was nothing more than an illusion. And illusions, as they're about to learn, have a way of shattering. And you've let go of that weight, walked through the storm, and come out stronger. You're untouchable, beyond their reach, living a life free from their shadows. And that is the ultimate justice.